¿Cómo están amigos de YouTube? Bienvenidos a un nuevo video. Hoy vamos a entrevistar a un artista británico fantástico que tuvo sus inicios en los 70s de la mano de Freddie Mercury. Estoy hablando de Peter Straker. Él nos va a estar contando sobre sus inicios, sobre su gran amistad personal que tuvo con Freddie Mercury de Queen y muchas cosas más. Así que si a vos te gusta este tipo de música, esta entrevista no te la podés perder. En una primera instancia, Peter Straker nos va a estar contando sobre sus inicios en el mundo de la música, así que presten atención.
Hello, buenos dias, Argentina. I hope that's the right way to say hello. I'm speaking to you from London, and my name is Peter Straker. Now, I am an actor and a musician. Well, I sing, and I have been doing this for some time now. We won't go into how long at the moment, but well, all my life, all my adult life. And I've started working. My first thing I did professionally was a show called Hair, which opened in the West End of London in 1968. And after that, I did a whole series of different shows in the West End on the stage. So then I did other. I did Tommy by The Who in the West End. I did the Rocky Horror Show up in Manchester. I did some Shakespeare plays. I did a play called Measure for Measure, which I played Lucio at the National Theatre, our National Theatre. And so I've been doing theatre work, film, television, over this period of time, and that's what I've been doing. And then I've done music in between. I've made 3 or 4 or 5 albums over the time, but I suppose the most part of the interesting times were in the middle of the 70s, when I was fortunate enough to meet Freddie Mercury from Queen.
A continuación, Peter nos va a estar contando sobre su amistad con Freddie Mercury, cómo era él como persona, como profesional y algunas anécdotas. Así que escuchemos.
We met in a restaurant, our original meeting, and it was just in passing. I was with my manager at the time, and he was with John Reid, and we sort of knew. My manager knew John Reid and David Evans, and we just passing said, "This is Freddie Mercury," and this is how we met. And then we subsequently met in restaurants, mainly. Where we all different restaurants in London, and with the same set of people that we knew, and so I gradually got to know him, and we became very good acquaintances. And then I invited him to one of my birthday parties, and the wonderful thing about Freddie, he was very shy, and he did say he would come to my birthday party, but he would come early because he didn't like to, meet a lot of strangers. And these were in the early days. These were in the 70s. And he arrived at my birthday party with a Nebuchadnezzar bottle of Moet Chandon champagne. And let's say cheers. And after that, we became firm friends. We met up. And I met some of his pals, and he met some of mine, and we just got on very well. And then I asked him if he would. I was invited to see some of Queen's performances, and I met the band, and we all seemed to we got on very well, actually. And I asked him if he would produce an album for me, and he said he'd love to, because he'd seen some of my shows as well. Very eclectic sort of shows, sort of rock and vaudeville, and a strange melange of musical styles and tastes. And he said he liked what I did, but he did say that he thought at the time punk was the fashion, and that maybe I wouldn't be. It wasn't a good idea that he produce the album. However, it came about that he produced the album, and he said to me, would I mind if their producer, if he came on board, Roy Thomas Baker, and I was delighted. So we set about this marvelous time of doing this album called This One's on Me. And John Reed brokered a deal with EMI Records and Rocket Records, because he was the president of Rocket Records at the time. And we managed to do 3 albums between 1975 and 1980, 79, 80. And they were just, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it. Tough. I learned a lot because I wasn't very good in the studio, but I learned a great deal. And I had my own band, which was wonderful because it's led by my producer and my very, very good friend, Mike Allison. So we're quite spoiled, and so we did our albums, and that was it, really. And yeah, we just became very good pals, and we used to speak to each other. I saw a lot of Queen's shows on the road, and we'd speak to each other on the telephone wherever he was or in the world, and we'd talk about the most ridiculous things and wonderful things, because we quite liked sport. I mean, I liked football and I liked tennis, and so we would always talk about stuff like that, and just what it was like touring. And I was here working in England, and they were international. So, and we just became very good pals, over 15 years. So that's how it was, really. I went to New York for one of his birthdays when he was staying at the Berkeley Hotel, and he had the whole top floor as a suite. And as I got off the plane, and he drove me, we drove to his apartment, he said, "Now I'm going to show you something wonderful." He opened this huge fridge, and from top to bottom, it was just Cristal champagne. Well, woo! It was, yeah, so silly things like that. And we just got on. So they're funny things, and yet there's so many things I can't remember, but that was a good moment. Had great parties. He used to throw fantastic parties, and then Queen as a band threw tremendous parties as well, and to which I was invited, and my band was invited, and yeah, it was a good time. It was a very good time.
Siguiendo con esta entrevista, si él tuviese la posibilidad de volver el tiempo atrás, ¿cambiaría algo o no de su vida? Escuchemos.
As I go back in time, I've been asked many times, what would I change about my time? Not a lot. I know that sounds very arrogant, but not really. I can't change what I've done, right or wrong. I just have to own up to it. And no, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change much. I might. The song goes, regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. So no, I don't know. I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change very much. I might have liked things to have been different, but I mean, don't we all? But I have I don't want to change anything. No, I don't want to change anything.
Hace unos meses atrás, Peter lanzó un remix de su gran single de los 70s, Late Night Taxi Dancer. Nos va a estar contando sobre ello y sobre sus nuevos proyectos para este año vigente.
Last year, 2020, I was lucky enough to speak with Barney Ashton, who's sort of works with Cherry Red, and he said they had this idea at the beginning, well, of 2019, that they wanted to put the 3 albums in which I was involved with EMI, the 2, and put them under one label. This was on me, and put it out as a box set, a deluxe box set, which is this one. And I got it specially so that you could see it. That's can you see it? That's when I was younger. So the box set, this was released last year, 2020, and in it, it's rather fabulous because it's got the 3 albums I did. That one, that one, and that one, Real Natural Man. That's the 3rd one. On Real Natural Man, and in it there's a wonderful booklet as well about it's about bits of my life in chronologically, and some wonderful pictures. But Real Natural Man, there was a marvelous song on it called Late Night Taxi Dancer, which was released as a single in 1979. And it was written by Mike Allison. And it's a wonderful song. So we at the beginning of last year, 2020, we took one of the songs from This One's on Me, which I can show you. And this was Heart Be Still. And that was released as a single. And then to promote the rest of the album, towards the end of last year, I said to Michael, why don't we redo Late Night Taxi Dancer in a sort of retro style way and things. So I did the vocals in my home with my dear friend and guy, he does some of my sound as well, Dylan Wynne Davis, and I recorded my voice down here to a backing track, and we sent that down to Mike Allison to his house. This is technology. I love it. I don't know very much about it, but I love it. So I am very, very pleased with this new version of Late Night Taxi Dancer. Da-da. Bye, 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 baby, bye, bye. Da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Bye, 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 baby, bye, bye, goodbye, goodbye. I don't mean that to you. That's the chorus. Listen, I'm hoping that everybody in Argentina will like this and go and buy it digitally.
Y como cierre de esta entrevista, un mensaje para todos los fans en América Latina y en el mundo precisamente.
Please, yes. Buenos dias, buenos noches. It's so lovely to talk to you and to have this opportunity to talk to you. And stay well, stay safe, and keep playing the music. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bueno amigos, esto fue todo por hoy. Le quiero súper agradecer a Peter Straker por su tiempo. Gracias también a Archie, con el cual estuvimos en contacto hace semanas para poder hacer esta entrevista con este gran artista de la música británica. Te recuerdo que tengo Facebook, Instagram y Spotify con el mismo nombre del canal, Retro Talking Mix. Me podés seguir, todo esto te lo voy a estar dejando abajo en la descripción de este video. También te voy a dejar en la descripción de este video los contactos de Peter Straker oficiales para que puedas seguir las novedades a futuro que va a ir lanzando y demás. Déjame en comentarios qué te pareció esta entrevista y nos vemos en un próximo video. Chau chau.